What is up, people? Yeah, so as you can see, we are moved to a different location. We're busy working, gonna deconstruct the engine. I just want to mention I'm now trying to use my DJI Osmo with a Rode mic. I don't know how this is gonna work. Like I don't feel like I've gotten the settings dialed in for the Osmo yet. The mic audio I was never really a huge fan of, but we're gonna try it out. So let's jump into the motor. We're gonna start stripping everything off. Let's get the head off and then we can start cleaning the motor, everything else from there. Let's get down to it. Before we continue, so I've dropped the resolution down and I've adjusted the lighting because firstly my batteries are dying ridiculously fast. I can only record for like 45 minutes before a battery's dead, and then also the lighting was a bit overexposed. I apologize for that. We'll see how this is going to look. We're going to try and see. I don't know if this is grainy. Like I said, I'm still learning this camera. We'll see how it goes. So for today we got basically the power steering pump off, we got the mount for the power steering pump off, we got the engine mount off, we got the valve covers off, coil packs, everything's out, and the front cover over here is off. We've also marked our timing marks on the engine, on the belt and on the gears, can't remember what they're called. But yeah, so that's basically it. Battery's about to die. Okay, so picking up where we left off yesterday, we were stupid, right? So I made timing marks on the belt without getting this top dead center. Not the smartest thing to do, you know. So what we're first going to start off doing is removing those timing marks, getting this top dead center, then marking it once again, because these are actually supposed to help you line up. So for people who don't know, this is going to line up your cams as well as your crankshaft, basically, so where your pistons are, so that your valves don't hit when you install the cams and everything like that, right? Now the problem is, if you don't give yourself a reference point, like putting the entire engine into top dead center, so the first piston at top dead center, if you don't do that, then these marks mean nothing, because I would have to figure out where I am at this point. It's not like impossible, I could draw a line there, but the correct way is to mark it off at top dead center. So you'd look somewhere on the crank, you'd look for where the marks are, find the mark. It generally has advanced timing marks also, so yeah, find 0, right? Get it there, mark your stuff, then we're gonna pull everything off. Other than that, yeah, we're just gonna carry on getting at everything. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to take the head off, because I don't know if I have the studs, but we'll have a look at that. Yeah. What's up? Cool. So here we have it. Last time we marked the, whatever these things are called, the cams. We marked the cams in the belt, putting it in TDC, but I didn't put it in TDC on compression stroke, so I have to remove the markers again, put it in compression stroke, and then remark it. It's indicated by 2 little dots on the veneers, I think they're called. I'll show you guys that when I get to it. So we're going to put that into the compression stroke. Online it says that you can't remove the head. You can't remove the head without removing the cams. But I can see the head studs, and they look clear of the camshafts. I'm thinking we could probably do it. I don't know if we should risk it, but it will make our lives easier when reinstalling the head, because then all we have to do is get the thing in, get the cylinder into TDC, and then put the head back on, and everything's already done. We don't really have to do anything. Okay, so like I was explaining before, we need to get this into TDC or top dead center on the compression stroke. We have 2 markers over here on the veneers. There's a little dot there and a little dot there. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's clearly indented and actually red over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scratch off all of these markers that I made here. We're going to then rotate this whole assembly. Those should push off to each side once they're on opposite ends. That's how the repair manual tells us that the thing is in top dead center. Here at the bottom you'll also see there's a little white mark there, and then on this housing there's a little arrow. So that's going to tell us that we're at top dead center, and then we have different degrees. I think it's like 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. I'm not sure, but we have degrees of timing that we can pull, or set the car in certain degrees of timing. I'm not sure, I'm not 100% sure with the timing and situations and all of those things. All I know is you retard timing to get anti-lag. But other than that, so what we're going to do is we're going to scratch those off quickly. We're going to get this back into top dead center compression stroke, and then remark the belt. Then we can pull the belt off, and then once the belt is off, well, we're going to loosen this. That's going to take our tension on the belt, because this is our tensioner. It's got an eccentric bolt, so it's kind of offset, you'll see there. And then what we do is we loosen that, we tilt it downwards, it releases tension on the belt, we take that out there. Let's just see how much tension is in this belt. Just less than 90 degrees, which is good. The belt itself looks very healthy, so we're going to reuse this existing cam belt because it basically looks brand new. yeah, let's try and get the stuff going, and then we can see where we're gonna go from there. Okay, so there's a guy on the phone. Okay, so here we go. The head is currently off, as you guys can see. We do have 2 head studs still in here, so this might be why they said that you can't remove the head without removing the cams, because I got head stud number 4 and head stud number 8 are still in there. The rest of them I had taken out and put into a label thing over here, like a DS. So we labeled these, we put them all back in the right place. Because they're flex bolts. Okay, so here's the controversy about head studs and reuse of head studs. So certain people say it's okay, certain people say it's bad. Apparently, when I was doing the EXO, they said if they use flex bolts, you need to get new bolts. With these ones, they're like, since it's flex bolts, you can reuse them. Apparently, because they're flex bolts, they flex once they're torqued down, and then they snap back to size once they're out. If I can find the tolerances and if all the threads look correct, I'm just going to keep those. I'm not going to go to ARPs right now because in my country that's currently like half of my salary just for head studs for this thing, and I honestly don't feel like it's worth it on CA, especially considering like I'm not going to be doing wild stuff with this motor. So basically, here's the old head gasket, this is the old head, these are the valves, for anyone who doesn't know these things. We're going to pull this off, we're going to clean it up with a razor blade, and then we're just going to very carefully, you guys have to remember, this can get marred very easily. This is why we lay it on its side, we don't put it on its face, because if we have to lay it down here, it can get deformed. After that, let me show you guys back here. Oakley dokley, so this over here is the block, right? As you can see, let's have a look, right? So if we look into each of these cylinders, everything looks mostly okay. No real scary signs yet. So what we're going to do is we're basically going to clean all of this up. We'll make sure we take the razor blade, clean up the block's edge, just to make sure that we get a good mating surface. But before that, we got to turn this thing around and we have to get that sump out, because once we pull the sump off, we are going to go and remove all of the conrods caps. We're going to then pull the pistons out of the top, bloop, 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 bloop. We're going to then pull off the old rings, put on new rings, chuck those back in. Yeah, once that's done, we will then drop those back and then close the bottom up. We're going to drop everything back in, we're going to bring it back up, put the head back on, we'll get the head cleaned up, put new head gaskets, all of those things you guys will see as we go along. Cool. Okay, so for those of you who are interested in what's going on, we currently have the sump off. We messed everywhere, we cleaned that all up down there. But in any case, so we have the sump off. So over here you can see we have the end caps for the conrods, right? What we're going to do is we'll pull these bolts off, as well as the caps, right? We're also going to number all of these caps and bolts, and then we are going to keep them very safe until we reinstall the pistons. Once we've detached those, we can slide the pistons out the other side, and then we also need to clean up this pickup, because if you look at that, wow, that is scary. But in any case, I need to take this crank off. I just realized I didn't get the bearings for the main crank, and that's kind of disappointing. I'll figure out what we're going to do there. But let me get these pistons out. Once these pistons are out, then we're gonna spray down the entire motor. So yeah, let's do it. We're about to pull out each of the, what are these things called? Conrods, right? So we need to pull off the caps in order, keep the caps in order because they're mated to the conrods themselves, and then make sure we have the directions. All the bolts and nuts should be the same, they should all come from the same thing and go to the same thing. So we need to pull all of those off carefully. So what I've done is I have devised a diagram. I don't know if you guys can see the diagram, but it basically just goes from there, tells you where the front of the engine is. I have a little picture of how the cap looks, what direction the cap is in, the flywheel's there at the back, and then I've put 1, 2, 3, 4 on here, right? So what that's going to help us do is basically once I pull each cap off, I put it on there, cap off, put it on there, cap off, put it on there. So I'll put everything together the way it should be, and then I have a second board, the exact same, but I'm basically just going to put the pistons on one and the conrod caps on the other. Once that's off, I think we're good enough to be able to just go and grab the pressure washer and everything down. Yeah. I need to figure out what I'm going to do with this cam belt here. I currently have it just like sitting in a packet. I'll show you now here. So here's my cam belt chilling in a packet. I wanted to pull it off, but I don't have a nut big enough, a socket big enough. I don't have a socket big enough to pull off this nut that's in here. So I guess I kind of just have to, I don't know, figure out a different plan. But we'll see. So let's get these pistons and the conrods and everything out and align them, and then we'll flip this thing back around and clean it up and try and get everything as clean as possible so that we can do the new rings and new bearings. Okay, and there we have it, all of the pistons out. As you can see, there's a lot of oil over here. You'll also notice that it's been quite a while later, and on the floor over there was just a huge oil spill. It was kind of, piston 1 decided to go flying. It hit into the oil container. The oil container fell and spilled everywhere, but there was so much oil in cylinder 1. But everything's out now, and we can have a look here. So far from what I saw on the piston rings, everything looked okay, which is slightly worrying to me because I heard the rattle that I heard in my other car, and that was piston rings last time. We'll see what it is this time. If we look at the bearings, you can't really see in this one, but this is cylinder 1. I don't know if you can see the coppering and pieces missing there. It looks like it's almost, there we go. It looks like it was almost about to be catastrophic failure on cylinder 1 as well as cylinder 4. I don't know if you guys can see that copper color, as well as the fact that there's I don't know if you can see that little ridge in there. It's quite a difficult thing to show there. So that looked like almost catastrophic failure there, as well as the bronzing on the bottom of that same bearing. So fortunately, I have looked at the crank, and the crank, everything up here looks to be okay. Everything feels smooth. Everything looks to be like it's good. All we have to do is chuck on the new rings, chuck on the new bearings, throw it all back together, and we should be good. I think right now I'm going to flip the motor back up the right way. We're going to spray some Prepsol on there. We're going to take this outside, and then we're just going to spray it down, get everything off, get, like, I don't know, I hate working on dirty stuff, and when everything goes back into this motor, everything's going to try and be as clean as possible. So yeah, we're also going to have to pull off this pickup because there is just so much stuff caked in this pickup. It's quite scary. I don't know what they did before this, but it's a little bit terrifying.